Hi everyone, I'm just going to give a bit of an overview of my Stagg EDB 3/4 double bass. So it's an active electronic double bass, upright bass. I've had it now for about probably a year and a half, maybe going on 2 years, but I've hardly played it, I must admit. It just tends to stand in the corner most of the time, shame on me. But I love the looks of it, you see. Just love the style of it. The sleekness, the colour, black, it's just amazing. And to be honest, I do rate the bass. It's got a very authentic upright bass, sound to it. It's got, if I just move down a bit, it only has 2 controls, which is you've got the volume button right there, or volume knob should I say, and you've got the tone knob, and really that's all you really need on this bass, because it's just amazing. You don't want too much, you don't want too much complications going on. It does what it's supposed to do. Just here you've got an MP3 jack for any backing tracks that you might want to play along with, and here is a headphone jack, which is great. So if you want any just private play and you don't want to wake the family up, you don't want it amped up, just stick your headphones in there and away you go. The only thing about the headphone jack there is that it's got a little bit of hiss going on in there when you've got your headphones on, but it's nothing major. The hissing isn't that loud, but it is there. But the great thing is that this bass, when you've actually amped it up, it is mega quiet. It's really quiet. There's no humming, there's no hissing. It's fantastic quality for recording and so on. Something here that didn't come with the bass are these. These are something I added later on. The reason why I added them is because these nuts here, annoyingly, always work themselves loose after I was playing for a bit, back in the day. So, because this thing does rock a bit, it does move a bit. It's quite flexible. Not too flexible, so it doesn't fold on you or anything, but it does move a bit, and just that slight movement would get these to unscrew, and it used to drive me mad. No matter how tight you did them, they would always work themselves loose. But with this, which for all the guitar lovers out there, Grolsch bottle top seals, they actually stopped it from doing it. And I didn't have to drill them out or anything. They fit straight away, just push them onto it. There's enough threading on this to go into, through that into the bass and lock in nice and tight. Absolutely great. And also it's cut down a lot of the noise that I was getting, because also the noise, there'd be so much more noise coming from this when it loosened up. I mean, this on its own moves, but it was even worse. It was so much worse when this came loose as well. These came loose. But as I say, I've managed to resolve that. And I must admit, I do love the red on black. That's just my thing. I do actually like the styling of it. I'm pleased that they weren't black rubber seals that I used. Do like that. But anyway, around this side, they actually got another kind of metal frame thing that comes out here to replicate the side of a double bass. To me, it's totally pointless. Absolute load of rubbish. I mean, it looks horrible as well when you've got it on. It's like a triangular type thing. If you look online, you'll see it. Absolutely diabolical. It's not needed. It's just a complete waste. So I ditched it. Just put it in the gadget bag that came with the bass, and I've left it there ever since. Now, but this bit that protrudes out is very useful. Really useful. I'm really pleased that they've actually got this bit here, because at times I end up having to lay the bass on its side you know, if I haven't got the stand with me or so, I just lay it on its side, and what it protects is the machine heads. If it didn't have that bit down the bottom, the machine heads would be taking all the weight and all the brunt and all the knocks and all the rest of it. So I'm really chuffed it's got that, and it sits beautifully on its side with this. So that's actually, you know, a very useful thing that they've put on there. I'm sure it wasn't really for laying it on its side, it was just for the shoulder bit that they've got in there, but it worked out really well. It's a really good design. It really protects the bass. So anyway, moving on just briefly again, we've got the bridge. Now the bridge, it's quite good. You can adjust it. You can adjust it up and down. I suppose I've probably got it a little bit higher than what a lot of other, you know, double bass players would have it. Now, saying that, I'm not a double bass player at all. I'm a tinkerer. I just call myself a tinkerer. I just play around with the bass, sadly. I'm not a massive musician and all the rest of it. I'm really a hobbyist. I just play around. So sadly, I've got nothing great to show you or play you. But anyway, that's that. And down here, these basses need something to deaden the sound, because between the bridge and the saddle, you get a lot of resonation going on here, loads of vibration, and the more you're playing, the more it builds up in just down here. It just builds and builds and builds, and then it starts ringing throughout the whole body of the bass. You actually can hear the tones from down here, and it sounds dreadful. It makes it sound as if you're playing slightly out of tune, because it's blending in with whatever you're playing. So the only downside really is that thing where you have to put a dampener in. I have seen one or two people play them without. How they've managed to keep that down, I do not know, but I just found that it used to ring like crazy when I used to try and play it. Anyway, that's that. Let's move on to the stand quickly. The stand is very good. It's sturdy. It does its job. It's got a good lock-in piece here, which is great. You don't necessarily need it because there's no dangers of that falling forward. There's a lot of weight to hold it in place, but for that added extra security, I do like that bar that they've put on there. It's very good. And then round the back, it's got a great bit just to hang your bow. Not that I can use a bow, but as I say, I've always thought maybe if I start learning to play properly, you know, I may just start using the bow. Right, so that's the general, you know, look of the bass and so on. I think it's lovely. I think it's gorgeous. You know, around the back you've got the jack where you put the jack. You've got the battery compartment. Very easy to get your battery in and out of this thing, which is amazing. That's what you want. So yeah, I'll give you a brief sound thing. I'll play it a bit. I don't play it very well, sadly, but I will play a bit just so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, speak to you in a bit.